Here's how to make a ribbon leaf to match the ribbon flowers I showed you. You'll need straight pins, some heavy duty thread, a hand sewing needle that's sharp, really crummy scissors, and some wired ribbon. If you're using variegated ribbon, you'll have to decide what's the inside and outside of the leaf because you're going to remove the wire from the inside. Just like with the ribbon flowers, you can use your scissors to help pull it out. This time you are pulling the wire out all the way, and work gently so it doesn't snap. Fold your length of ribbon in half and then fold down both of the corners, securing with a straight pin. Hopefully this helps make this step a little clearer, but the purple edge of the ribbon is the inside of the leaf for us, so we're pinning that down. Then thread your hand sewing needle with heavy duty thread and secure it at one end of the leaf. After you secure it, just do a little running stitch along this section of the leaf and then secure your thread again by making another little knot. Try to stitch as close as you can to that edge of the ribbon. So this section of the leaf is going to be the end, the point of the leaf, and that's why we're tying the thread off here so that this part doesn't get ruched in the next step. After you've knotted your thread for this section, you can continue sewing along this same edge of the leaf. Once again, just doing a running stitch and making sure to keep it as close to the edge of the ribbon as possible. Don't make your stitches too tight or too small because at the end of this, we're going to pull the thread so that we can gather up that ribbon material. So just keep them nice and loose and even. And that's why we want a heavier duty thread as well, because we're going to be doing a little bit of pulling and we want to make sure that it doesn't snap. Once you finish that longest length of the leaf, keep sewing, don't knot off the thread, and continue along that other angle, once again doing a running stitch and sewing along the edge of the ribbon as close as you can get to the edge. In my flower video, I was asked if you can glue it, and I think so, but for this one, you're going to want to sew it because that's what's going to create the shape. So at this point, don't knot off the thread. It'll be habit, you'll want to do it, but just leave the thread as is. As a safety note, because my dog swallowed my sewing needle a few years ago, make sure you don't accidentally drop it in the next steps when you're not paying attention to it. Grab your scissors and trim off the excess ribbon from when we folded over the corners. This is why we use crummy scissors, because we're cutting through that layer of wire. At this point, we're nearly done. Grab the end of the thread and very gently pull, and it'll gather that ribbon into a leaf shape. And you'll see now why that first section we anchored it. It's going to stay nice and straight. It's going to form the point of the leaf, while the other end of the leaf now has this cute rounded shape. Once you've adjusted it and are happy with the gathering, then anchor your thread finally so that it's nice and secure and your stitches won't come undone. And that's all there is to it. And you can do this with all different lengths, widths, and colors of ribbon. Check out my other video to learn how to make that sculptural ribbon rose. If you need help finding supplies or you want to see pictures, check out my blog post tutorial, which I've linked in the description.